Translation, bridge the gap. Communication, so real, no cap. A different language for woman and man. Decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk. Give you the info to walk the walk. Now, sometimes it's a foreign language. Now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation. Empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
She got all the lights on. You can't even see my red light in here. She just got the lights on. Hey, what's going on? Everybody, what's going on? Welcome to
and we apologize for the lateness. Had some technical difficulties, but we're here.
We are here, and this is the best talk show in the land. Y'all better like and share and tell somebody. So, welcome to Man Translation, where we talk about cutting edge, in your face, hard. We have the hard conversations over here. We have the transformational conversations. We have the conversations that's going to leave something on your mind. As in the words of Arsenio, things that make you go, You see what I'm saying over here? We are the dynamic duo, mother and son. Okay, this is my son, Dante V, the relationship and communication strategist, and I am his mama, Sky C, the CEO and producer. And this is my baby. This is I wrote the song and the whole 9 yards. You know, y'all know I'm trying to get my producer hat, and y'all helping me get my producer hat on. And I'm sorry we're late today, but last week I was out of town, so I only felt that it would be good for me to come and share the amazing time that I had when I went out of town last week, and so I did not want to cancel two shows in a row, because we talk about things that are necessary, and we talk about things that are needed, and we bridge the gap between my generation and my son's generation. And we also show the culture that mothers and sons can have healthy relationships and also reconcile relationships. You know, we share how Dante and I, we were not always on, good terms, how perceptions, come into play, and what the definition of really perception is. But what I want you to understand about perception is that the truth will always trump your perception. So today I want to talk about my experience. I want to talk about why I wasn't here last week, because I think you ladies are going to enjoy this. And I want you to participate. I want you to come on the page, and I want you to write down and share with us, what women want. What do you want in a man? What women want in a man? So Dallas is about 4-hour drive from Houston, Texas. And so I had the pleasure of joining a young lady who was being awarded the Presidential Lifetime Award for her commendable service. And, she invited me to go. And I was like, sure. I haven't been to Dallas in a little minute. Let me hop on. It was like really a last minute thing. And I'm so glad that I went. Now, this is not just any award. This is an award given by the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and the Vice President, Kamala Harris. It's a very prestigious award. Now, you have to do something very special in order for the president to notice you, in your little life, going around about your little business every single day. So I was with some beautiful women. I always talk about how my men friends, but I have also met some amazing women. And so I do get along with women. I just get along with certain kinds of women. Okay. I don't get really along with insecure women. I don't get along with jealous women. I don't get along with women that have low self-esteem. I don't get along with women that don't have no confidence. They find me very threatening. But women who are very empowered, who are very confident, who they are comfortable in their own skin, baby, I have amazing relationships. So these women were such a complete and total blessing, to me. So as we're driving down 45 and we stopped at Buc-ee's, they built another Buc-ee's because it was only one. Now they have two as you go on your way to Dallas, because the one that we stop at is kind of like the halfway point from Dallas to Houston. And so they built one closer to Dallas. I guess the people was like, we shouldn't have to drive all the way almost to Houston just to go to Buc-ee's. So they have two.
I wish they built one here.
Yeah, they popping up all over the place. It's an amazing company. Their managers make six figures. If you don't know anything about six figures will yield you 10K a month. So we're riding down. One of the ladies, very beautiful spirit, beautiful, heart. She has this beautiful salt and pepper hair. And I was complimenting her on her hair. And I was telling her about the silver foxes. I was like, it's these guys. They all have silver beards and they dress like really to the nines and they really look really good and all of that. But I really wasn't impressed. It's kind of hard to impress me because I'm not really impressed with peacocks walking around. The peacocks are male. Peacocks are not female, they're male. So when the peacock starts strutting around and open up his feathers, he's doing a dance because he's trying to attract the female peacock. So I'm really not interested in the peacocks. You see what I'm saying? I don't need nobody trying to stay up in the bathroom longer than me. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I'm talking to her. So the other young lady, she says, well, they don't really call men foxes. They call women foxes. I said, yeah, my sister is a fox. They call her Foxy. I said, yeah, but they call themselves the silver foxes. And, I just think it's beautiful. A lot of people don't like to embrace their gray hair or white hair or silver hair or whatever it is you want to call it. I think it's beautiful. I do.
Nope.
So anyway, because you are man, so anyway, so we just talking, and so we get to the award ceremony. It's black tie. You have to dress up. No, I didn't take pictures. I am just not a picture taking type person. The only reason I take pictures is because I have to for my business. Other than that, I would never take a picture. Okay. And so I do have some footage though, but I didn't have a chance to upload it because I literally just walked in the door. So anyway, so we get to the venue. And it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. The singers, like everything. So many people are receiving awards, and it is just Black excellence all up and through the room. Okay, just all up and through the room. And so we were sitting at table 10, and the lady that I came with, she was expecting some more people that she knew in Dallas to come, but they didn't show up. And we were so glad, and you're going to find out in a minute. And so we're sitting at table 10, and it's four of us. It's myself and the other three ladies. And the table was pretty much empty. So all of a sudden, here comes these men. First two come in, then two more, then one more, then another one, and here's some more. And they're sitting at the table right next to our table. And so that table gets filled up. And then they're sitting next to me. So on my right side, I have four beautiful men sitting next to me. And then on my left side, I have the three ladies. And come to find out, they're being awarded as well. And guess what? They're from Houston, Texas. And guess what they call themselves? the Salt and Pepper Beard Gang, and them brothers walked in the room and shifted the whole atmosphere. They came in with such a presence. They didn't come in, even though they were sharp from head to toe, from the hat to the shoes, the socks, everything, the whole nine. The smell good, the jewelry, wasn't nothing missing. They came in with a humility and a power that I have not seen in a very long time. And, you know, to see just a man, period, just to see a man, you know, it's almost like man sighting. Like, when was the last time you saw a real man? So they have an event coming up next month, and they asked the question, what do women want in a man? So as I thought about the question, I thought about the fact that they would even want to know the answer to the question. It speaks volumes to me, because a lot of these men don't really care what women want. It's all about what they want. So the fact that they would even ask the question lets me know that they have some substance. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it was so, I can't even find the word for what it was, just to see, you know, them lend themselves, their resources, their time, you know, to give back, you know, to the community. And of course, I had the pleasure of talking to the one that was sitting next to me. Don't ask me what his name was, because so many women was like salivating all over them that I just really did not want to partake, you know, in that. Because I just feel like if women don't want to be objectified, then we should not objectify our men.
That's fair.
Yeah, so, you know, I did not want to objectify them. I just felt like their presence was so powerful and they were so full of substance and meaning that it was just kind of like taken away from the whole atmosphere, just to be, you know, hooping and hollering over them, because clearly that's not what they are about. You know what I mean? So I figured that I would come and I would share what, you know, what I want in a man. But I want Dante to tell us, like, as a man, what you think women want. What do you think women want in a man? What do you think women want in a man?
That's a lot. You know, like the few things I hear is they want consistency, they want stability, they want to be able to be transparent with you. They want them to take charge without being necessarily overbearing. Some will go as far as to say is he has to know how to handle me, which I'm on the fence on that one.
Yeah.
Those are some of the main things that I actually do here. But the top two: consistency and leadership. Like, you got to be able to lead.
I think that it would only be fair that if we, you know, next week flip the script to, you know, what men want in a woman. So we're going to talk about that next week, hopefully, if I'm home, because like things are really popping, doors are really opening, things are really happening. And so, but I do want to stay consistent to the show and to the people that come, you know, and share. So before I share what I want, what I ended up really doing was I ended up really thinking about it, because I'm not really looking for a romantic relationship. So I'm not coming from that point of view. I'm not really coming from that perspective, you know, at all. Because I think that before we can get to the relationship part, we got to get to all of the other parts. Before we can get to the relationship part, we really have to get to all the other parts. And I think that, you know, that's my thoughts on it. And then I thought about what kind of man I tried to raise my sons to be, you know, and I wanted them to be, you know, leaders in the community, leaders not just, in relationships, but first, to be able to lead themselves, to know direction that they want to take their lives in, because you can't take anybody anywhere if you can't take yourself around the corner.
Right.
Because the first thing a woman wants to know is, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? And I think in society, we have become so shallow. Like, we have become so shallow. Everything is, and I think that this is the reason, Dante, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the reason why women get played so much, because you're so caught up in the physical of what a man looks like.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You bite into a bad apple just because it's shiny.
Yeah. Just because of what he looks like. Those clothes could be borrowed. They might even be his clothes.
And in some cases, women have found that out. He wearing his best friend's clothes. It's like,
and living in his best friend's house and driving his best friend's car. Like in the movie Think Like a Man. I don't know whether it's part 1 or part 2 or both parts. Like, he didn't have anything of his own because he was still trying to find, who he was. And I think that that's what happens, is that we enter into relationships prematurely before the man has even figured out what kind of man is he? Like, what kind of man am I? What kind of man do I want to show up, in the world? But I think the fact that they even want to ask the women the question is very selfless. I think the fact that they even asking the question, and they doing a whole event around the question. And, I think that's noble within itself to ask, like, what do women want? It's also telling me that they confused about it. That's why we have this show, because men and women do not communicate the same. Men don't know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, that relationship is not going to work. And then if what you want changes, I find I can talk about women because I'm a woman. I find females, it's a difference between a female and a woman. I find females to be very indecisive. Child, make a decision. Come on.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Hey, girl, what you want? Where you want to eat at? Come on, it don't matter. Listen, well, I don't care. If you don't care, and it's crazy because as we were coming back from Dallas to Houston, she wanted to stop and eat, but it's like she couldn't decide where she wanted to eat. So I kept giving all these suggestions, but no, didn't want to eat there. Same thing after the event was over. She wanted to go out and celebrate. Dallas is not like Houston. Dallas is smaller. So everything was popping and jumping. Dallas be jumping, okay? All of the places to go and dance, the jazz places, they were booked full to capacity, no parking, bumper to bumper traffic. I'm like, girl, I don't live my life like this. I try to live stress-free. Do not turn down this road and get in that traffic, because I'll get out and walk. I can't stand bumper to bumper traffic. So it's like, which club? Now, I done gave you 4 suggestions. I'm going to need you to pick one. Child, I said we're going to end up going getting some food and doing a waiting to Excel and going back to the hotel. And guess what we ended up doing? Just that, because could not decide where they wanted to go. I'm flexible. I'm adaptable. Don't matter to me. I'm cool with whatever we do. Couldn't make a decision to save their life. My goodness, my ladies, I love you. And I'm going to need you to be decisive. I'm going to need you to make a decision.
Now, I got to piggyback off this, especially in the beginning of a relationship. When you're getting to know someone, I'm going to ask you, what do you want? How do you like this? Until it gets to a point where I know you enough to be like, all right, we going here, or we doing this, we doing that. You just want me to pull up and like, all right, listen, we getting fish tacos, be here, I'm going to pick you up at 9. It's like, you could be allergic. How am I supposed to know?
Couldn't decide where they wanted to eat, dear God, on the way coming back. Now, I don't eat in I don't like buffet style places. I don't like those type of places. I thought COVID shut all them type of places down. I don't eat in those type of places. I never did. Like if it's like a place that maybe like a hibachi type place, maybe. If it's like I like hibachi places, but that Golden Corral, everybody snotting and pulling and jerking and child, I don't want nothing out of here. Not nothing. And if somebody blow their nose, y'all better pray for me because it's gonna be on and popping up in here today. Bless the Lord. Anyway, so we started late. So Dante, you got to keep the time.
I got you.
All right, what time are we going to end? All right, so let me share. So what I decided to do was I thought about my sons. I thought about what kind of men I wanted them to be. You know, what kind of, husbands and, all of that, based on the examples, because they say that, boys, they marry their mothers. I don't know about none of that. I just know that I wanted to set a great example so that when they went to go pick a woman, they would at least have a standard. Okay. I can get with that part, but that other part, I don't know about that part. They would at least have a standard because I am a woman of standard and I'm a woman of purpose. And I always have, but even though I have fun though, but I always have a boundary that I will not cross. I've always had boundaries. People think I'm just so spontaneous. Yeah, she just down for whatever. No. No. There's always a line I will not cross. There's always something that I'm not going to do. Now you go right ahead. If that's what you want to do, you grown, that's you. But I've always been that way. But I still have fun. I still go places. I still have fun. It's just certain things I'm just not going to do. Okay. So I always tried to be a woman of purpose and set an example for my sons and my daughters. So I ended up just thinking about it, some points. Actually, I ended up writing a whole letter, I don't know if I'm going to get into all of this, but I might. So anyway, so I didn't want to respond according to the flesh. I didn't want to respond according to romantic because that's not really what I'm looking for. I'm really not looking to be in a relationship. I don't have time. Bless God. So when I look at a man, what I really see and what I've learned from my own life being single, I didn't even realize this when I was married because I got married young, so I didn't really know a whole lot. So by the time I got divorced and was divorced some years, one of the things that I found is that men deal with a lot of pressure. Even though I'm a woman and I'm not a man, but I stand in a position as a head. I'm the headship or the leader or the matriarch of my family. And so there was such an onslaught. I remember just having to deal with stuff at work and stuff over here and some stuff over there. And here comes some stuff over here. So everything always comes at the head. How do you kill a snake? You crush his head. Anything that you want to destroy, you go after the head. When they wanted to destroy the Black family, they removed the head. So when I think of a man, I think of a head. And when I think of a head, I think of order. And I think that for years, I've been saying that I want men to get in their rightful place. Doesn't mean that they are superior. Doesn't mean that they're better than a woman. It just means that they're first. Order. That's it. Don't read nothing else into it. Order. Men establish order. In order for him to be in his rightful place, he has to know who he is. Nothing in this world is going to change for the better until men get in their rightful place. And so that was the first thing I thought of, man as a head, and I thought of men as leaders and how they need to be in the position. And I thought about a lot of the biblical stories, Jezebel and Ahab. If it wasn't for Ahab abdicating his position, Jezebel would never exist. Jezebel only exists because Ahab was the king and did not do what he was supposed to do. He did not stand in his rightful position. And this is what happens all the time. If a man is not in his rightful position, the woman is going to automatically move in that position. And when she moves in that position, that's going to make everything out of place. Everything is going to be out of place. And the world constantly pushes women first, women power, empowerment of women. And that's all great and that's all wonderful. And I'm all for it. But men have a place. And they must get in their rightful place. And women must get in their rightful place. So that's why we have all of this stubbornness and rebelliousness from our children, because everything is misaligned. Everything is displaced. Everything is chaotic and confused because so many of our heads have been cut off. So I thought about that I want the men to be in their place. And then once they get in their place, I want them to know who they are and what it is they're supposed to be doing when they get there. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes I'm in the group with women, and it may be one or two men, and I'll lean over to the men and say, well, what y'all got to say? What's on y'all mind? Because we need a man's perspective. We need to hear what the men have to say. Men don't even have a voice. And now that they're talking from a place of brokenness. They're talking from a place of being relegated to the back and observing, because men are very observant. Talk about it, Dante.
No, we are. We always have been. This is how we know what situations are going to be, how they're going to be. Not chess. It's about observing, then moving, taking your rightful place, and then going from there. No, men, we watch. That's always been our thing. We watch, then we act. That's it. How I know so much about you? I watched you. I mean, not to say it like this, but go with me. You have the TV show called You. Joe watches you, watches your every move. Granted, he's a stalker, but he watches you. He watches every move. He knows what you're going to do before you do it, which is how he's able to put himself in position to do whatever it is he needs to do. Again, not talking about the stalking and other stuff, but using that as an example as far as just being observant and acting and moving accordingly.
And they are. Men are very observant. And now that they're talking and they have a voice, we're not hearing, because I just kind of feel like men are a dying breed, which is why it was so refreshing to see 13 powerful men walk in that room. 13 powerful men of substance walk in that room. And it wasn't just about what they had on. It was about the way they carried themselves, the way they even interacted with each other. And then when the leader got up and started talking, it was so much power in that room. It was so, I've been to a lot of places. There are no words. And then it was a guy and a girl that was singing. I have an ear for music. I don't know where this man got these notes from. Like, he pulled these notes from a deep, 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 deep place. I mean, he literally took the note off the scale. He went off the scale. You know, the piano have the scale. You go down and then you go up. He took the note down, like all the way down to a place. Then he took the note all the way up the other side of the scale, and he was hitting notes that was not even from this earth. He was one of the few people that I talked to, him and the girl. I had to talk to her too, because she ripped up every song she sung. I mean, these people were singing. They were not earthly people. They were singing from a heavenly choir, and it was glorious. And I said, like, brother, where did you get that note? Because that note came from a place not of this earth. He was like, he gave God all the glory. It was some powerful men in the room. So what a woman want, what I want in a man is, I want a godly man. I want a man who has a relationship with God. Because unless you have a relationship with God, you're not going to have identity. God gives you identity. He tells you exactly who you are. And if you don't have no relationship with God, if he's not a godly man, and you could tell these were godly men, because it felt like we was in church for real. I want a godly man so that he can know how to conduct himself. You know what I'm saying? In all situations, he can know what his identity is, what his purpose is, what his destiny is. You know, in headship, you're a leader. You're supposed to give guidance. You're supposed to give direction. If you are confused and you don't even know where you're supposed to be going, how you going to lead in a relationship? That's why I say, how can we even get to the relationship part? We can't even get to the romantic part yet. We can't even get to that part yet. Because all these other things have to be in place before you can even have a relationship with a whole man. So that's another thing. I want a whole man. If I'm gonna get one, I want him to be whole and not broken. And in order for him to be whole, he's have to have done the work, the internal work. That's what integrity means. Integrity means integral. It means inside work. He has to be able to look at himself, the man in the mirror, and say, what manner of man am I? What kind of man am I? And be completely honest and truthful with himself about whatever his flaws are that need to be fixed, whatever his strengths are, knowing what his weaknesses are and constantly working on those. We don't need men strutting around like a peacock. We don't need that. I mean, their presence exuded so much power that I was like, these men need to be protected because they are a dying breed. These men need to be protected. They need to be celebrated. They need to be respected. They need to be encouraged. They need to be edified. They need to be uplifted. So how can you even look at them and try, you see what I'm saying, to try to have a relationship with them when that's going to take away from, you see what I'm saying, what they stand for and who they trying to be and who they are.
Because somebody's just trying to be a part of it because of what they see on the outside. That's all.
Again, shallow. So yes, they were very well dressed. And we know that the word says that man looks on the outward appearance, but God looks on the inside. So I want a man
part of it because of what they see on the outside
of substance. He has to have substance. When he opens up his mouth to speak, what is he saying? I don't think you all realize how powerful a man's voice is. No, we talking a real man. We ain't talking about this little stuff we be saying. A real man. Remember when you was growing up and your mom was like, told you 15 times something.
Then you just hear this dark, booming voice in the other room. Listen to your mama.
Or If dad wasn't home, I'm gonna tell your dad when your dad get home.
Why
And what happened? And what happened? Alignment. Men bring alignment when they're in their proper place. They bring alignment. They straighten right up. Women, when a man's voice speaks, a woman blossoms. When it's a real man, you blossom because it's a back and forth thing that's happening that's not visible to the naked eye. When a father speaks to a daughter, she blossoms. When he speaks to his mother, the way he speaks, that's why you can't have a relationship with a man who don't have no relationship with his mother, don't know how to talk to his mother, don't know how to treat his sisters. That's a broken man. He hasn't grown up yet. He's not grown. He doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know how to show up in the world. Take for example, let's look at Candy Burris Tucker. Now, Candy was successful all by herself. But when Todd stepped in the picture, everything she did blossomed. Every single thing she does is blossom. She would, how did Neo say, I'm a force all by myself, but together, baby. Because when a man speaks, it shakes the heavens. The heavens take notice, which is probably why a lot of women don't want men to speak, because it's going to change and shift some things, especially if he got something to say. These brothers got something to say. I was just, sometimes you just got to rock. You can't even express yourself. You know what I mean? And so they was sharp now. But we need a man of substance.
Right.
Gotta have substance. The word says, who can a faithful man find? We always talk about a virtuous woman. Who can find a virtuous woman? But Proverbs 26:7 says, who can a faithful man find? Who can find a faithful man? It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. And we were talking about that as well as we were on our way. It's impossible to find a needle in a haystack. And it's interesting because I kept talking about these silver foxes, and we get to the venue, and they're from Houston. They are from Houston, Texas. So we have our own. And I just kept talking about it. And then we get there, and they are not only there, but they're sitting at our table. And I just was like, who can find a faithful man? Not just faithful in his loyalty, but full of faith. Full of faith. My granddaughter asked me one time, a lot of people ask me this over the years, what does God's voice sound like? And I said, God's voice sounds like many things. It is really amazing how God can sound powerful, yet loving. He's powerful. He can sound powerful. There's power in his voice, but there's also love, lots of love in his voice. There's a lot of faith in his voice. God can speak one word to you and shift and change the whole trajectory of your life. Just one word. Power. Voice full of faith, voice full of love. How can all those things be in one voice? Because it's full of substance. It's full of faith. Who can find a faithful man? Who got time to be trying to walk around trying to find a needle in a haystack? Who got time for that? You know what I mean? Does he have integrity? Is he integral? Does he do the internal work? Can't have integrity without honesty. Integrity is what you have with yourself. Honesty is what you have with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be authentic if you don't know who you are. People throw these words around, have no idea what they mean. No idea what they mean whatsoever. Is he honest? Does he have self-control? The love language is not those five acts of service and all of that. That's not the language. Those are things you do when you care about a person. But the language of love is patience. The language of love is kind. Is he kind? Is he patient? Is he full of mercy? Does he have self-control? Can he see a beautiful woman with a banging body and maintain his manhood? Look at that.
Lord.
Is he generous? That's the love language. Is he long-suffering? Does he show you grace? Does he give you grace and mercy because you're not quite where you need to be in certain areas of your life? Does he cover you in prayer? This is what I want in a man. All that other stuff, y'all can have it. Does he have a mission? Does he have a mission for himself? Does he have a mission for his family? Does he have a mission for the community? Does he have an international, a national mission? Because if he doesn't have a mission, a woman will not submit. Women are naturally submissive. It's innate, it's inborn. A mission, submission means to come up under the mission. I disagree. You can be patient with someone, but still need to know and understand how they need to be loved and what you can do to help them feel love. Absolutely, but I'm coming more from that. That might be what you want. I'm talking about what I want. I need you to put what you want. I'm talking about what I want. Because I need him to be patient. And, the patience is going to cause him to want to know. Because you're supposed to dwell with your partner according to knowing and understanding. So it's not that he's trying to figure out how I want to be loved. And it's not about love being a feeling, because love is not a feeling. That's why those love languages, it's surface. I'm talking about substance, and I'm talking about what I want in a man. Love you, T, but I need you to share with me what you want so that I can go back and tell the fellas, T said you can have patience with someone, but still need to know and understand how they need to be loved and what you can do to help them feel love. So I will be writing that down and sharing that with the fellas. But I'm talking about what I want in a man. And I want y'all to share what you want in a man. Because I know that love is not a feeling. Love is a spirit. Love, you can communicate love to somebody spirit to spirit and never open your mouth. Have you ever experienced that, Dante?
Yeah, but that takes time.
It does take time.
That takes time. When you get to that point,
I think that's what T is talking about. I think that's what she's talking about. So, does he have a mission? Does he have a vision? The vision is the mission, is the eyes, to the mission. Does he have values? What does he believe? What is his belief system? I'm talking about me, T. Because T is, yeah. I love T. T is very intelligent. But I'm talking about me. I want you to share what you want so I can tell them so they can talk about it. Because her, her perspective is important.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to hear that. But I'm talking about me right now. Because what is his belief? What is his values? Does he have any morals?
And does it line up with what you got going on as well? That's a big thing.
Well, expound on that, Dante.
I mean, because you have take this instance. You're saying one thing as far as what you want. Now, granted, I know you and T are not going to get together, but for sake of argument, she's saying something else. So if y'all two not lining up, then you should study trying to force something. Right. I mean, eventually it's going to fall apart. Yeah. So do your standards and morals line up with the person that you're seeking, that you're with?
That's a good point.
It's very important that it does. I mean, granted, you're not going to agree on everything, right? But does the purpose line up? Does the goal line up? I mean, again, sometimes you might be in nursing, he might be in computers. That's fine. That's okay. You go your way, I go mine. But again, we come together for the common ground. And the question is, what does it line up? Yes, does that line up with what you got going on?
And exactly, and that's what I'm saying. And I think it's because, I've learned, like, these are all of the things too that I've learned, being single and being, in relationships and doing my own observations and having my own, conversation. And I think that, when they talk about the love languages, I think my language is not on there. My language is intelligence. I like an intelligent man. I like for men to be intelligent. I like to be able to hold a conversation. It's a turnoff to me when I'm talking to a man and all he wants to talk about is sex. And he just wants to tell me how beautiful I am. It's all just about, you know what I mean? It's all just about the shallow. It's all just about the flesh. So because you're dealing with a woman of substance and a woman of purpose. So I'm not moved by that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I had low self-esteem and I didn't have any confidence, that would send me straight over the moon. When, for a man to tell me, that I'm beautiful and I'm intelligent and I'm all these things. But that doesn't move me. That's why at the awards show, I wasn't salivating over them. These women was losing their mind. And I just was thinking, these men need to be protected. And then when they called them to come up, it was like, they was letting you know which ones were married, which ones were single. I was like, yo, y'all missing it. We are so...
Why is that important?
Because we're not understanding how powerful someone with substance is. We're not really understanding that. You know what I mean? And so it's like we've gotten so caught up in, flesh and everything. She said your love language would be quality time, creating special moments and having a deep conversation together. Probably. I don't know about that quality time part though. I don't have no time, T. That's why my perspective of what I want in a man is so different from yours. That's why
So I see where she's coming from with that. I think for you, it's like subcategory. You need to have this. So it's like, yes, quality time. But under that would be like deep, meaningful conversations.
We got to have deep, meaningful conversations. Because I have to be, it's like, it has to be a mutual, like stimulation type, cranial brain thing.
Yeah, but in order to get that conversation, you got to spend time with them. You got to look forward. It's okay.
This is why I said I don't have time for no relationship. That's why I said that I'm not looking at them for relationship purposes. as far as like maybe a partner in business, or do partnerships or something, so that we won't have to deal with the other part. You know what I'm saying? We won't have to deal with none of the flesh. We ain't got to be dealing with none of the dating part. All that's off the table. We ain't got to be dealing with none. We can't talk. We can't talk. See, this is why I love T. See, this is why how you think is important, T. I hear you, T. You don't have to be in person. You can be over the phone, but I don't even have time for that. So this is the thing. It's like we have to come together for a purpose. So this right here, what they're doing, that's a purpose I could get with. I could get involved with that. Like they're having this event. They want to know what women want. I'm going to be like, T said, look, I'm going to put your name all in it. I'm going to be like, T said this, and I want you to address that. And what do you have to say about that? So next week, I'm going to have some, well, now the event is not till next month. So I'll have some answers after I talk to them. But I'm not even looking at as far as a romantic relationship at all. I'm looking at purely business partner. You have an event. I want to participate. I can give you some time for that. But special time, personal time for us to try to figure out if we're gonna be doing something and all that. No, we ain't doing none of that. Oh Lord, I done started to. I don't have time for a relationship because I've already made the time. Like I've already made the time to have. I've already been married, to Dante's pappy. And because I got married so young, I was 19 actually was 15 when we got together. He was my high school sweetheart. And we got married at 19. We got together at 15. And we stayed together for like another 15, almost 16 years. So I feel like I've already experienced the relationship, marriage thing, when marriage is good and when it's not so good and all of that. So I just feel like I've already kind of checked that off of my bucket list. So my dreams and the things that I wanted to do in my life, for an example, I was talking to one of the other ladies that was there, and I was like, I was telling her I wanted to do this thing, and I had just decided I wanted to do it. And I wrote it down, for one of my goals. And I just was talking to her, and she said, the lady that's with us, she can make that happen because she's in charge of the whole thing. And I'm like, are you serious? So she was like, yeah. So when I talked to the lady, she was like, sure, I'll let you know the next time we have one. I'll give you an ample amount of time and you can be a whole part of it. So I don't have the time because there's so many things as far as my purpose. Like right now, I am so purpose driven. Focusing on what because I didn't have a chance to do it. I didn't have a chance to start my business when I was married. I didn't have a chance to do a bunch of stuff because I was somebody's wife and I was, raising my children. So I'm not really making time for any romantic relationships. I don't, because I ain't seen, this is the first time I seen a man. First of all, well, so, and I ain't out looking for one. So that's why I don't have time because I'm not going to make the time, for it. But were you happy? Was he able to meet your needs? Were you able? Look at, what, T, we're going to bring T on the show. Like she just going to fill in one of these days that I can't even come on. She said, but were you happy? Was he able to meet your needs? Were you able to meet his? Have you healed from the hurt and pain that ended of the marriage brought you? Was I happy? Absolutely. I thought that I was happy. Was he able to meet my needs? Yes, he did. So it was like it started out as a good marriage and then it ended up, it just ended. It just went, he just, wanted to go do him. And I said, okay, go do you. Were you able to meet his? I believe so. Have you healed from the hurt and the pain that ended the marriage that brought you? I did a lot of work. I've done a lot of work as far as the, the ending of the marriage. But at the same time, T, I never really wanted to be married. I'm one of those people that don't want to be married. So even though I got married, I never really wanted to be married. And then when I got engaged again to be married, I was like, let me step back and take a look, because now I'm getting ready to repeat the same behavior again, letting somebody talk me into doing something I really didn't want to do. I always wanted to be a business woman, is what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to, that was my dream, to go to college for business, start my own business, and be just a mogul. Okay. And so, you know, I'm behind schedule, T. I'm already behind schedule. So I've already started my business. Like, if I talk, I have 5 businesses right now. 5. Okay. And they take up all of my time. They take up all of my time. So the hurt and the pain, I dealt with that like forever ago. I've been divorced now, what, like over 20 years, Dante? Yeah,
Oh
like
God,
since like around like 96, 97, somewhere up in there, probably like 95. Yeah. And I mean, I've had other relationships. I mean, I've been in other relationships. I've been engaged to be married again and stuff like that. Men love me. They love me. They absolutely love me. Those men that sat at the table, they was doing everything they could to get my attention, and I wasn't paying them no mind. And the lady that was sitting next to me, she was like, Scott, they trying to talk to you. I was like, girl, I got other things on my mind. I'll talk to them later. Like, y'all go talk to them. So I didn't want any, you know what I'm saying? Because you know how men are. You give them too much eye contact, get the wrong idea. So I really did. And I think that people don't really understand a woman that don't want to be. Where you get the benefits part, girl? No. Ain't no bennies going on now. Ain't no bennies. Because if I'm going to give up the bennies, I might well go ahead and be in a relationship. Ain't no bennies, T. You know what? I'm going to take this whole little thread right to, I'm going to talk to the fellas about you, T. Because no. You know, just a business partner. But I like, again, if I'm doing something with you as far as business is concerned, and we're spending time together, and it organically turns into a relationship, then it just goes there.
Right.
But it's not something that I'm really looking for. I'm not saying I'm not open to it. If it happens, I'll deal with it. But I'm not really looking for it. I just feel like in society today, when we see a man of substance, I feel like he needs to be protected. I feel like he needs a sister more than a woman. He needs a sister to protect him. Because, see, I don't have to be married to you to help you. Because I'm already a wife. The piece of paper don't make you a wife. The ring don't make you a wife. Look at Dante. No, I'm already a wife. The word says he who finds a wife. That means you have to already be a wife. I'm already a wife. So, and men recognize when you're a wife too. They know when you.
Yes, they do.
They talk about it, Dante. Talk about
it. Again, it goes down to watching, which is why some women get benched or be put on the back pocket, because we know who you are.
Yeah.
They might not have, all the kinks out their system yet, so it's like, we're gonna keep her here because I know that she's, wifey material, or she's this or she's that. But they out here messing with the scallywags. Mm-hmm.
And the reason they was trying to get my attention, because the guy that was sitting next to me was eating with a spoon. Because I wrote the book. He was eating with a spoon, and I was messing with him, and I was telling him about the book that I was writing. So we was laughing, and then the other guy came and he sat next to me. He had a fork in his hand. I said, "See, look what he got in his hand," and we were laughing. But he kept dropping his food.
What was he eating with the spoon?
Chicken breast.
Oh.
Now, Dante, I don't even play that. I taught you and your brother the proper way to eat, set a table, because men need to know that stuff. Your sons need to know how to properly eat their food. Yes. So he was eating chicken breast with a spoon. It was too funny. And then the guy that sat next to me, he kept dropping his food. Like he was nervous. I just was like, are you okay? Why you keep dropping your food? So I handed him the napkin. I had to give him a little lesson right quick. Because he kept dropping his food. I was like, what's up, dude? You all right? It was awesome. It was so awesome. So I done met me 13 new brothers. Yes, I done put them in the brother zone. So T, I'm healed, T. I love men and men love me. I just don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to be in a romantic relationship right now.
Because if you try to come with my mama,
you have to be an amazing man, really.
And not eat chicken with a spoon.
And then he said, and T over here talking about T. A lot of men are taught only to be financial providers. So when they come across a woman who doesn't need them for that, they don't know what to do. I really think he was nervous. I do.
I mean, that is the thing.
I'm not going to make an assumption. I don't know.
No. Let me go ahead and knock this out the bud. Okay. There are instances where a man will put so much pressure on himself that when he goes to take that step in order to talk to you or approach you, he's nervous. So it's like, all right, got the courage to go over there and say something to her. And you go over there and it's like, damn, okay, let me regroup. Now he over there.
He was sitting right next to me. He right here.
He probably got cold feet at that point. No, that's the thing. That is the thing. And I don't know what the homie was doing with a spoon. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he was just hungry.
He was like, I like to dig in. And he was like, he's like really tall, and the women was like losing their whole mind over him. I forgot what his name is. I think his name is Hollywood. Yeah, I think his name is Hollywood.
So Hollywood can see where the fork was? I'm
like, why is you eating chicken with a spoon? But I was really trying to I wasn't really trying. I was really intentionally not salivating over them because I just felt like that's not what they needed. And it wasn't what they were there for. This is a prestigious award. It's a very prestigious award. And I just felt like it wasn't the time because all the other women were like, whoo, child. They was beside themselves. And I just felt like that's not really what I feel like doing. So I'm going to tell them what T said. She said, okay, you can be patient with someone, but you still need to know and understand how they need to be loved and what you can do to help them feel loved. But see, my thing is that if you really know what love really is, if you really understand that it's not those 5 love languages, you know what I'm saying? And to me, it's spirit to spirit. We are spirit. We are not flesh. We are spirit. It is spirit to spirit. You ever meet somebody and you just automatically just click with that person because it is something about on the inside of you and something about on the inside of them. Not your flesh jumping, not your vajayjay jumping, not his weenie jumping. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. We need you to go deep. Because when you do the work of dealing with the hurt and the pain and looking at why your relationship didn't work and why your marriage didn't work and what part did you play, you got to dig deep within yourself. You got to dig deep within yourself so that you don't make those mistakes. And that's how you know, like, you think that's love until you really come in contact with what love really is. When it touches you in a place that transcends the physical. it transcends the physical. That's when you know. When Adam saw Eve, it don't matter whether you believe the story or not. He said, bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. How did he even know? He had never seen a woman. He had never seen a woman. The word says God put him to sleep. He was asleep. How did he know? Because it transcends flesh. Y'all keep being in relationships about how you feel. You cannot depend on how you feel. Your feelings are an indicator. They're just an indicator. Because if you keep going by how you feel, one day you feel this way, tomorrow you feel that way. Today is sunny, tomorrow it's cloudy. Your feelings are unstable. That's why your relationships are unstable. You got to transcend the feelings and the flesh and go deeper. And you're never going to go deeper if you don't look at yourself in the mirror and say, what manner of woman am I? Just like he has to know what manner of man he is. And so, if you recognize when somebody has done the work, because you've done the work.
Because that's what you're going to attract at that point.
Yes, you've done the work. You've dealt with the hurt. You've dealt with the pain. For me, dealing with infidelity was not really about the infidelity. As the older people would say, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's the way you do it. Every definition of love is different. Also, when you're describing, could be two people being soulmates, and that doesn't necessarily mean your soulmate is the person you're supposed to marry. True. Lord have mercy. No. Because we throw that word around a lot, and people think because somebody they soulmate, you're supposed to marry them. And no. Yep. So no. Does not mean you're supposed to marry your soulmate. And that's why, you do have to look for other things besides that he dressed nice, because all of them was dressed nice. Every last one of them that walked in the door. And the one guy, he could sing, and he had the scarf around his neck. And the one that was sitting next to me, I don't know what kind of watch that was he had on, but I really liked that watch. It was unique. It was very different. So they always dress very well. But it's more to it than once you take them clothes off and you stand naked, who are you?
Not but bony in the mirror.
A man and a partner,
You are not moving.
That.
Oh, okay. All right. There we go.
Dante, where'd you go? So let me know, T. I need you to tell us what you want in a man, T. What do you want, in a man? Everybody's definition of love is different. That's my definition of love. Where did you go, Dante? That's my definition of love. And I need a man of substance. I can hear you.
Okay.
I need a man of substance. He has to be a man of purpose. He has to be more than mortal man. He has to be absolutely extraordinary. He does. He got to be more than a suit and tie and a hat and some shoes and socks and some cologne. That's for sure. Because I bring more to the table. The question gets asked so much, I wrote an answer down that I'm not going to share with y'all today.
Well, as far as what would you bring to the table?
Oh, yes, what I bring. I know who I am, so I know what I bring. And I bring more than Cootie Cat.
Oh, not the Cootie Cat.
Bring way more than Cootie Cat.
Not the Cootie Cat, Mom. Oh, no.
I bring more than that.
last time I heard that. Let me get some cootie cat.
So yes, I want you guys to go on and share what you want in a man. Your answer don't have to be like mine. You got your own thoughts, your own mind, your own experiences. I need to hear your perspective. I respect whatever it is. You don't have to agree with mine. Yours is yours and mine is mine. But the men want to know. That's what I came here to tell you.
We also want to know what you want to eat. Stop playing with us.
I was like, I gave them like 6 suggestions and they end up going to the Golden Corral. Child.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
She said, what I need in a man is for him to be emotionally and mentally supportive. He has to be willing to communicate with me on my level. I will let them know. I will definitely let them know. And I'm going to take pictures this time. I'm going to take pictures because I ain't take not a picture.
What's the what's the date?
I think it's April the 23rd.
Oh, okay.
This is for your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's April the 23rd. It would be cool if you could come down here. That would be pretty cool.
I'm still working some things out.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, it's April the 23rd. They're having a whole event, and the event is all about what women want in a man. And they really want to hear from the women, and I will let them know. As a matter of fact, I probably will send them this broadcast so they'll know at least how I feel and how T feel, what me and T want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and I'll probably put up some pictures because I just met them. And I plan on getting to know them a lot better. And I plan on working with them because they're doing some amazing work here in Houston. And you can let them know I am no longer looking for a relationship right now. Oh, but you're getting all on me, though. Oh, but you're getting all on me, T. Really? All of that. Do you want to partner with some benefits? No, T. Right, but you might want to talented, gifted people. It might be something else that is in the bag that it might be good for. But I will definitely communicate because your voice is necessary, your perspective is respected and is needed. And so I want everybody to share, at least in a couple of sentences, shout us out, let us know what do you want in a man.
And also, if you want to remain anonymous in such, you can always shoot us a message in the inbox.
Right. Yes. So Dante, you want to add anything?
No, we just want to know what you want to eat. That's it. Just we really like the indecisiveness. Then we give suggestions, and it's like I didn't get the suggestion. It's like, but you ain't said nothing. So this is about the women's. You said next week we're gonna talk about what men want.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tear that up. I'm gonna go. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's all you. It's all you. Look at T talking about she ain't. I'm still healing trauma. And anyone's like, I hear you, sister.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's important. Yes, that's
very important.
That is so important that you don't bleed trauma all over anybody's life. But you know what? It's a continuous work. It's a continuous work. You're not going to never be 100% healed, but you're going to get healed enough that you can be in a healthy relationship because you're going to be clear. You're going to be clear. You're going to be so clear about what you want and what you don't want, and you're going to be able to recognize it immediately.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to recognize it. So that's good that that you're still healing, and the healing it does take time. It does take time. So we're gonna always be getting healed and delivered from.
Be patient with yourself. Like it's not a race. It takes time.
Yeah.
Taco.
It's amazing. So I'm saying you're dealing with it. That's intelligence. No, You know what you want. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot.
That.
When you know what you
No,
want.
it does.
It does.
It takes a lot of pressure off of us. You know what? We're gonna say that for next week.
No. Close us out with that. Tell us.
No, because by you telling us what you want, it's a starting point. I can build from there. You want tacos? Taco bar.
I love tea.
All day.
I love tea.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry I was late. I was out, but hopefully next week I'll be on time. Who knows what's going to be happening next week? But I think I might have to start doing this, in the car. But I didn't want to like go from the car and then have to come in the house and then have to set up and then turn it off and then turn it back on. So that's why I was like, let me wait till I get home. We was only like 15 minutes like late though.
Okay.
Now we done went over 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
We'll see you next week where Dante is going to tell us what men want, what men's want, what men's want. All right, T, take care. We love you.
All right. What'd she say?